This is where we discuss and debate a wide range of topics from music, arts, cultural observations, alternative understandings, in hopes for an apathetic takeaway.
We don't always say it. When we remember, but yeah.
Let's probably take the shot or the nip off the table.
You're gonna take the nip. I got a nip in the cup.
You got a nip in the cup? Can I get a cup?
Yeah, you can get a cup. All right, so today's topic is GOAT, greatest of all time. I believe that actually started as hip hop lingo. I know LL had one of his later albums called GOAT, but you hear it in like a lot of topics now, especially athletes going for GOAT, basketball debates. Tom Brady's referred to as GOAT, but we're bringing it back to what it started off as is hip hop. It isn't who is the greatest of all time. Can there be a greatest of all time? And if so, who and based on what criteria and circumstances? And we've written down what would we consider, and probably most people at large consider at least the criteria. And then also, is there a bias? Do you have a top 5 that you relate to or just enjoy listening to? And do you make them GOAT? Or do you have a top 5 that, hey, you enjoy listening to, but based on the criteria, maybe that's not in. Maybe you have a top 5, because I know personally I have a group of rappers I would put in GOAT, but I don't fucking continuously listen to them. I listen to stuff that I like and influence me.
And what I would say is that I think having a GOAT to the individual, I think it depends on basically what generation you grew up in, what era. I came of age in about 93. So if you're going to ask me my GOATs, Biggie's in there. Actually, Tupac's not in there, to be honest, but I've got my own feelings about that. But like, I come from it where like, there can be no GOAT because it depends on the generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It depends on when you're coming in. But let's get down into the actual criteria of what we think a GOAT is.
Well, what do you have for a criteria? Let me hear yours.
Okay, so my list in regards to criteria, number 1 is lyrics. Number 1, like you got to have something to be talking about, whether it's about bullshit, buffoonery, or whether it's conscious, but lyrics. So you got to be able to display it.
Okay, correctly. So you got to display it, whatever, even if it's fuckery, socially conscious, or
whatever,
business driven. You have to have.
It has to be enticing to the ear of the person. Like let's say Nas. Nas could be a decent rapper, but the way he presented his concepts, like what was the one? The one in regard what was this? Illmatic, the gun.
I don't think that was on Illmatic.
Yeah, I think it was.
I know Illmatic was his first album. I don't recall that being on Illmatic. Actually, I feel like it was on a Lost Tape, to be honest with you.
No, it wasn't on Lost Tape.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it was on Illmatic because now you got me
let's look
questioning
that up
myself.
Real quick.
It's on Illmatic, man.
Illmatic?
Nah, look it up.
Have another drink. But anyway, keep going while I look that up. I'm not disengaged. I'm just, looking shit up. Go ahead.
I feel you. You don't have to tell everybody though. So lyrics, definitely. Next one I would say is, and this is not in some order, just these are the criteria. Monetary gains, and I think that leads up to success as well, because if you're in a rap game, you're in a rap game because you rap, but you're also in a rap game so that you can be successful, make money, and start really living the bullshit life that you're rapping about. Cultural influence, and not just like the black culture, but white culture. Once you get that good success and you go mainstream, that's cultural influence right there. So I think definitely that's in the list there. Longevity. Are you just gonna wash out? Are you just gonna be like one of those rappers that come in and come out? You know who comes to mind?
Who's that?
Quan One. What was that guy under Jermaine Dupri?
Jaquan.
Everybody
tipsy.
in the club get tipsy. You have one fucking hit and then you're out.
Quick note, I Gave You Power was the song, and it was on It Was Written.
It was written. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But we were both wrong, though.
Yes, we were.
All right. I can live with that.
You more than me, but
nah,
when it comes to time.
You piece of
anyway, shit. I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
That's all right. Content of the lyrics. That's when it does matter. Not just lyrics in regards to buffoonery, but the content of what you're saying. I think that's important because I think that allows, it kind of leads into longevity in regards to, it allows a certain group of people to actually gravitate and continue listening to your shit. Like Nas, for example, is one of the best in regards to lyricists, because not just because of the shit that he says, but the content, the topics that he brings up. Like, you can bring that shit up now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I would say that. Multiple cadences. At first I was like, nah, no, how does that fucking matter when you brought that up? But then you make a good point. Multiple cadences. And when I think of that, I think of Biggie's rap with Bone Thugs and Harmony. When I heard that shit, I was like, shit. Even though Biggie, he was rapping fast, but he wasn't rapping Bone Thugs fast. But he switched it up.
You think so?
Yeah, if you can switch up the style.
I kind of disagree. I feel like it was still a regular Biggie style. But I understand what you're saying. That whole song. I mean, Notorious Thugs.
My thing is, if you can switch up the style.
Yeah.
One guy I can't stand because he can't switch up his style. He just has the same cadence on every fucking song. I don't want to say I can't stand him. I just don't care for him. Meek Mill.
Yeah.
Meek Mill, his cadence is always the same.
I think that's going back to the G Unit days. You know who I thought was great with switching up the style to this day is The Game. But I think a better rapper all around is Lloyd Banks, who has a very monotone style.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what killed Lloyd Banks, that monotone sound.
I don't know if
because the shit that he was saying.
He had some great shit.
He had some great lyrics. A lot of his good stuff was on the mixtapes. But we're talking about GOATs, and these guys certainly aren't in the category.
Well, no, I don't think
conversation.
The Game is actually on one of my top 5 favorite, but he's not in my GOAT list.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I really like The Game. But that might be another criteria, is albums that they consider masterpieces. I mean, there's very few albums that are considered hip-hop masterpieces.
Yeah, that's just because there's so much bullshit albums out there. Yeah, I got to say, you're talking about his first album.
Sorry, who?
The Game.
The Game, I don't know. I don't know if anyone...
His first album was a classic.
You think it's a classic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it was a classic compared to like Nas and Jay-Z's albums, but it was a classic. When he came out, everything on that was a hit, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, I'm sweating. It's humid as fuck.
Thank you for apologizing. Yeah, because they can see the sweat beads dripping off of you.
Anyway.
All right, next one I would say is influence. Influence in regards to the culture.
Cultural influence?
Yeah. And I'm not talking about black culture or white culture. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about influence in regards to cultures. Like, let's say one of the biggest, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, that's the definition of influence.
You go to Italy and you put on a certain song and people will know it. People will rock. Well, the people, that are in that. But like, if you can take your music, your sound, and you can disperse it outside of the United States, I think that's influence.
Well, outside of
and have people react to it in a positive way.
Sure. So outside of the music, the lyrics, content, delivery, metaphors, all that stuff, that's a criteria for rap itself. So we're kind of talking about personality now. And Jay-Z is synonymous with the influence because, like you said, everyone knows him. He's synonymous with the hip-hop businessman. He's synonymous with almost the hip-hop fairy tale life. That's not meant in any disrespect. So outside of like lyrics and stuff like that, I mean, the biggest thing I remember with Jay, because Jay has lyrics. Jay has multiple cadences and delivery. Yeah. Jay has content.
Big time.
One of my favorite lines is Jay is flyer than a piece of paper bearing my name. Yeah, I fucking love that shit. He's got so many fucking things though. The thing with Jay, I don't go and listen to Jay a lot, but in all honesty, Jay has all of the criteria that we've listed.
Yeah,
it's fucking insane.
He's not a chameleon, but the man knows how to adapt, and he's very business oriented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was my list. Did I miss anything? Did you have anything?
Sorry, go
on
ahead.
there?
We're kind of all over because of the drinking.
No, we're still on the same topic though.
Still kind of killing it at the same time.
That was my list in regards to that, and of course overall success. But I mean, I think that kind of encompasses everything: lyrics, longevity, content.
Well, let's so okay. So cultural influence, monetary gains, longevity. That's cool. But as far as actual songs, stuff that's on wax or battles or whatever, when it comes to lyrics,
I won't even put battles in it, but
I
battles,
wouldn't either.
battles hold a certain place for it because if dudes winning battles and shit, like damn, that just means that you can. It's like how good of a rapper are you under pressure? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think battles hold the place, but I don't think like, oh, he's an ill battle rapper. Like Cassidy is one of the greatest of all times because he's burnt so many cats.
It's fucking insane.
I think he's ill, but one of the greatest of all times? No. Maybe underground.
But I don't think you...
I don't know.
That's almost the subgenre of, Smack and URL and all those fucking, like almost like UFC or WWE's a rap battle. Yeah, it's really hard to take a fucking rap battle and be like, that was Cassidy's best. There's probably people that really love that and probably could do that. But for me, the people that we know, I don't think a lot of people when they're talking about GOAT can really be like, fucking Daylight, all these, a lot of battle rappers. They're not going to really make that particular list because I almost feel like that subgenre stands alone. I think that the battles that are that guys like us who grew up in the golden age but still respect like what it was.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, we can name fucking one of the most revolutionary battles, KRS-One and MC Shan. That is a battle you can fucking remember, right? So, but anyway, I digress. Outside of the battles shit, I mean, when it comes to actual, like, the songs and shit, lyrics, delivery, content, we covered all that. Multiple cadence and metaphors. I think metaphors,
yeah.
I think metaphors in the past maybe 7 or so years have been at an all-time high, and it's thanks to Wayne. I think Wayne is great with fucking metaphors.
Do you think it's thanks to Wayne?
I don't think it's thanks to Wayne, but I think Wayne is one of the better
Wayne
wordsmiths.
wasn't the one that...
That's one of his things I thought brought him to the conversation.
Yeah, when I think of metaphors, especially like the proper punchlines, I think of Jada.
Jadakiss?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know what? I don't want to say anything wrong because I really like Jada. I like what he...
Of course.
But...
And he's doing good. I'm not like doing good successfully, but he's keeping up with himself. Have you seen Jada Kiss lately? He looks like he's 24 again.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, man. I think he stopped eating meat. I think he's a vegan.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's just bullshitting on that one.
You know, I like Jada. I liked his interview with Drink Champs. That was a good one.
Yes, I believe I saw that. It was a while ago, though.
It was a while ago. He's got one with Joe Biden, and he did the big thing with the Drink Champs one. He was really putting on. You know, they were doing the recording at a hotel, and before he came in like an hour into the fucking interview and was talking about how Nori was like, you just came from the fucking gym and all that shit. That shit is my favorite shit outside of hip hop almost. But anyway, so I guess this is gonna go over fucking 10 minutes, man. Is there a top 5? Everyone has a fucking list. There's like a fucking list.
Everybody's got their list.
Publications.
Then you got the source.
List,
then you got
fucking brackets.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck you, man. Yeah.
You know? I don't want to say fuck you. I mean, I see the reason why they would. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I see the reason why they would, but still, that the reason why those people are on the list sometimes it depends on the situation at the moment. Just like we were talking about Generation X, millennials, what is it, Generation Z? It's like...
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't even touch
I'm a late
that
millennial,
shit.
That's all I know, man.
Are you a late millennial?
Yeah,
I'm a late millennial.
You're a late millennial?
You're in it.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I'm 39. Is that still a late millennial?
I don't know if you're a millennial, man. I think you may have missed the party.
Well, fuck millennials.
I wish I missed the party.
I'm a 70s baby. 79 in the house.
So anyway... Is there a top? You know, like I say there is. Shit.
I say there is not, because let's say some people, they were like, "Oh, the greatest of all times." A lot of these old school cats, they'll go from what they came of age with, like, "Oh, the greatest of all time is KRS-One." Then they'll throw in fucking Big Daddy Kane. I'm like, cool, but like, I came of hip hop about '93. I don't even know those cats. The only way I know those cats is because like some of my greatest, some of my best. Like somebody on my top 5 is Ghostface. The only way I know of Big Daddy Kane, well, not the only way, but the biggest way I know of Big Daddy Kane is Ghostface continuously giving him props. And then that's when I looked up Big Daddy Kane. I knew a couple of songs from Big Daddy Kane, but that's the way I knew Big Daddy Kane. So I think like these generational, just the gaps, not gaps, but these generational phases, you have to factor that in. If you factor that in, how can you say that there's a GOAT? You can't say there's one number one rapper.
No. Here's the thing. It's almost like, I'll agree with that, but to a certain extent. I feel like it's almost like, again, to make a UFC or WWE reference, I feel like
You love the wrestling shit.
Yeah, like your dad.
Yeah,
I like that shit. But I feel like, okay, you're GOAT right now, but maybe someone will come up and take that title. But you know what? You can come back with a classic album or do something that's going to put you back up there. It's revolving. It doesn't mean
And that's
because
one
you're
thing.
a World Series champ right now and someone is next year, it doesn't mean you're not going to be 2 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That is true. And that's one thing I will appreciate in regards to the hip hop game. Yeah. Like, you have to constantly watch your back because someone's trying to take the throne.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. But I don't know where I was going with that. But
I don't know. I'm so fucking excited for some reason right now. I'm like,
so let's talk. Let's talk.
I love this shit.
So let me give you my top
I got another
five.
like half a page of shit to talk about. Yeah, but go ahead.
I'll give you my top five.
Top
you give
five
me your top
of what
five.
you is this your top 5 GOAT or is it top 5 that you like? You don't like this. You don't like what's going on here. With
I don't like people touching me.
Yeah, I don't want to touch you because you're very. I'm feeling humidity in this room.
Lords of Apathy.
Yeah.
I don't know why you got a
man.
hoodie on, but
I don't know.
I didn't really take
I
that
just like to
personal.
sleep.
I just wanted a moment.
You just wanted to.
You know
fuck
what I'm
with me.
saying?
So go on.
This probably be a clip right there.
Yeah, thanks for fucking making me.
He's
edit,
always
asshole.
touching me, man. I
I'm
don't
always
know why.
touching you. Just fucking get to your fucking shit.
All right, so my top
Fucking
five.
asshole.
My top five. Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Ghostface Killer, Black Thought.
That was a great one.
And I'll explain myself. I won't explain myself because it's my personal. You already should know it. But Biggie,
Pause real quick. So that's your personal
that's my personal.
GOAT.
That's
But at
my
the same
personal
time,
GOAT.
but so this is your GOAT and your personal people, the personal ones you listen to, mesh. It's the one and the same. I don't know if I'm articulating. Right.
I have no GOAT. I have no GOAT
Okay.
because like
This is
I
what you
listen to
listen
all
to.
of them. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
if
go
there
ahead.
would be
Go
a
ahead.
GOAT, it would be Biggie. But I gotta say I'm biased because Biggie, I just came of age to Biggie and his music just hit me. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't drug dealing. I wasn't killing. I wasn't stealing. I wasn't robbing motherfuckers. I wasn't doing any of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just the music, the way he hit, the way I saw his stardom, his rise with Puffy dangling on his fucking cuffs and shit. But like, just it was just beautiful when I saw it. Even his death, when the funeral, everything, I was like, damn, this motherfucker was somebody. But not everybody might think the same thing. Some people might be upset that I don't have Tupac on this list, but I look at Tupac. He definitely was a rapper, but I think he was also a poet. He said some beautiful shit. A lot of the shit that he said, he didn't stick by, but we're talking about rappers. And personally, I think all rappers, you got to have, rappers just like actors, you got to do a lot of bullshitting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I remember Ghostface is your favorite of all time, though.
Ghostface,
Right?
yeah. Well, Ghostface, yeah. He's my favorite of all time.
Not to put words in
but
your
I'm not going to, yeah, no, you're right. But I'm not going to throw him as the GOAT just because, like I said, there is no GOAT for me. But I'm not going to throw Ghostface in the GOAT category because I love him and I listen to him. I just felt like, dude, I gravitated towards his music. It was ill. And he threw, oh man, Ghostface, especially the Pretty Tony album, he wasn't even like chopping up music and originals like fucking Puffy was doing. He just played an old fucking an old school jam,
Yeah.
and he just rapped on top of it with the words, everything. And
So
he
was
just
that a
rapped on
mixtape or
top
was it
of
an album?
No, that was an album. Pretty Tony album. Oh yeah, I believe it came right after Bulletproof Wallets, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm ashamed to say I'm not too familiar in Ghostface.
Don't be ashamed.
But at the same time, see, that's my point is just because I don't like him, it doesn't mean I can't give him his fucking props and understand the influence he's had.
And
He's a
keep him-
fucking Wu-Tang Clan member because I know the fucking movies and shit like that. I know Wu-Tang, but I'd never listened to him exclusively. But I understand,
And
his
keep in
influence and
mind,
shit
when I
like
say
that.
this is still all buffoonery. A lot of these guys are talking about shit that I denounce.
Sure, absolutely, sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my top 5. Give me your top 5.
Real quick, just read it again real quick.
Okay.
In order.
In order, Biggie,
Yep.
because I
Just
I came of age.
just read it. You don't give a reason. Just read it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Fuck you too. Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Ghost, and Black Thought.
You swear how to be on cocaine sometimes.
You're just all over the place.
Okay.
Nice Dragon Ball Z T-shirt, by the way.
Thanks, man. I love Dragon Ball Z.
I know.
Fucking. All right. So let me get back to this fucking thing real quick. So sound like fucking Bill Burr over here. Just all over the fucking place.
Shout out to Bill Burr. I love your podcast, bro.
I love your cartoon, bro. So I almost, when I was jotting notes down, I had more questions than anything.
Well,
you
I
know,
mean,
and it was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Because that's the thing. No matter what the fuck you say, what you say or what I say,
someone's gonna have an opinion or a different opinion,
and then someone's gonna have a different opinion. Then someone's gonna write that opinion, and then some asshole's gonna argue with him, and then another asshole's gonna argue with her, and there's no fucking right way of doing this. There's no fact. There's criteria, but it's still opinion.
This is why we came to the conclusion that there really is no GOAT. I mean, unless you take all that criteria and you put it together and you see who has many points, then you're looking at Jay-Z.
But exactly. You almost have to go to the extreme that Star and Lord Jamar said a few years ago, that there needs to be some kind of board with regulations when it comes to hip hop. But
and I think it's too far gone for that.
It's too far gone. It's way too fucking big, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all right. So wrapping this up, I'll give my.
What are your questions that you had? Because you had some interesting questions.
Well, yeah, I said, is there a top 5? Is there a top 10? Is it all opinion? Can you have?
We kind of touched upon all those.
Exactly. And then I answered my own question. Can you have a top 5 GOAT and a top 5 of people that you just like?
I don't think the individual person can, but I think there is. Once you stick to the criteria, you'll have a top 5. Right.
And that makes you
biased. The numbers will show. But then you can still have your own. But like I said, that's all opinion. I came of age around Biggie and during that music, so that's why Biggie's on my top. Right. You know what I'm saying? So to end this real quick, my apathetic takeaway from this.
Let me give my fucking list, man.
Oh, dude. Jesus, I've been waiting all fucking day.
Yeah, what the fuck? Well, this is the thing, we sidetrack. So my favorite, and again, my favorite, I don't consider really anyone on this fucking list GOAT, meeting the criteria, but it's stuff that I liked and what you say, quote unquote, came in of age. So my favorite, actually, this one is.
Does that say Paul Wall? Yeah. Jesus, you got
Paul Wall? I just got fucking notes. Let me fucking talk. This is why I can't get my
list. Ladies and gentlemen,
fuck off.
Sean has Paul Wall on his top 5 list.
He's just reading fucking mental notes.
I need a drink for that one.
Yeah, I need a drink. So I'm sweating here. So my favorite is Nas. My favorite of all time is Nas, but also my GOAT is Nas. So those two lists intertwined. Yeah. You know what? Nas doesn't meet every criteria, especially monetary gains, cultural influence.
I think now he meets monetary gains.
But when it comes to lyrics, when it comes to records, lyrics, content, metaphors, all that stuff. Yeah. Maybe metaphors isn't his strongest, but when it comes to fucking shit on wax, Nas to me is the best.
I agree.
And then of course, no one's going to agree with this one, but it's stuff that I just love because no one did it. Exactly. I tell you to do the list and I give my fucking shit. Bone Thugs. I don't think anyone ever fucking harmonized or rap. They harmonize together. Well, they go to the name.
But okay, that's your personal list.
This isn't GOAT. This is my personal list. So let me just get through it. So I love Bone Thugs.
Nas, Bone Thugs.
Joe Button. We all know how I love Joe. That was just of course. And then I just loved Swisher House, and because I was very biased. I'm like, these motherfuckers from the South don't have lyrics. I love, and I was like, and I'll tell you why.
Are you even from the East Coast?
the one thing that Houston had from UG, we were talking about UGK in the truck not too long ago. To this day, well, not to this day, but to like their heyday 10, 12 years ago, Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Chameleon out of that whole thing is my guy when it comes to Swish House.
Yeah, Chameleon, you put me on to him.
He's smart as fuck.
Smart.
But all these guys are into the business and stuff like Chameleon. He's just
shout out to Chameleon.
Shout out to Chameleon.
Silicon Valley right now, right?
I think so, yeah. But anyway, the one thing that Swisher House did have, because they were talking about money and all this, they had some fucking, all those guys had some metaphors, and I was like, fuck the South. I don't really like them outside of Outkast, but these guys had metaphors, like huge metaphors.
Oh man!
And I to this day I enjoy
totally forgot
listening
about
to
Andre
Houston.
3000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That I did too, and that's a good point. There's fucking guys that are fucking slept on, even though me and you love Andre.
Well, that's why I threw Black Thought in there because he was
Groups,
slept on.
Roots, even though there's one rapper.
Yeah, there's only one rapper, but
Wu-Tang,
the whole group.
9.
Yeah. Oh,
Outkast too.
Wu-Tang.
But anyway, all right. So my top 5. I didn't even get a top 5 because I've been drinking. But top 5 to meet that list is Nas, Jay-Z, and you know what's called a top 3. I had Melly Mel because to me, Melly Mel with the fucking song, The Message, one fucking song, one video. I'm going to call it 1979, maybe somewhere between 79 and 82. So Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. This guy, right? Because this was all hip hop. We get mad at hip hop for talking about money and all this bullshit, but it's derived from party music. It started at a party. But Melly Mel was the first one that came out and was like, this is bullshit. Like, where I'm living sucks. This is a terrible lifestyle, this and that. And to me, that
talked about the gritty shit.
Right. That set a tone for shit that just never got big. But it influenced, I think, a lot of rappers, a lot of people talking about...
Damn, I didn't even go back that far.
Yeah, I went a little nuts with that one, but I had a top 3.
It's interesting. You got an interesting top 5. Yeah. You know what? I will say this. I respect the fact that your top 5, it's not really...
Well, it's 3.
It's not really... Yeah, because you still haven't finished.
Yeah.
It's not really stuck to your generation, but let me let you finish with the rest.
That's it. I only had a top 3. I'm not even going to come up with 2 more.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, so we can just cut this quick and we'll have some more time.
Apathetic takeaway?
Yeah, my apathetic takeaway is the fact that there can be no top 5. Because I can have my top 5. You ask somebody that was born 10 years before me, they got a different top 5. That's because of their generational influence. And then you ask somebody that's 10 years after me, which I believe might be Generation X or millennial. I don't know. But they'll have a different top 5. Some motherfuckers, they grow up as Lil Wayne as their Jay-Z.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there can be a GOAT. We can all have our personal tops, but can you say there is a GOAT? And if you just put all the criteria together, I would say Jay-Z would fit that model, but I wouldn't even say Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. Jay-Z, he's got music all across the board for me, but I wouldn't say that. Jay-Z, I like Jay-Z now more than ever. 444?
Yeah.
That album,
shit was just
that
great.
album, I put that on top of every other album because you know what? He's starting to talk about some smart shit. Longevity.
It's not bragging, it's
Future.
advice.
Yeah,
It's not bragging, it's fucking advice.
Exactly. It's not bragging, it's advice. Shout out to Jay.
Shout outs to Jay.
What's your apathetic take?
My apathetic, if I even have one, if it fucking makes sense. My apathetic takeaway is, to be on the list, you have to fucking compete. So these new guys, anyone that's come out in the past 5 years, you don't make the list, but the apathetic takeaway is you don't give a fuck what people like us think.
Yeah.
Even if we were in a bigger position of power. Because you are the new generation. So
exactly.
And the world keeps fucking spinning. Every generation has had that problem. Turn that fucking shit down.
Yeah.
It's
always. Let me ask you this.
It's the way the world works.
If we sat down here and we had little Yachty here and asked him what his top 5 was, you think it'd be anything close to what we got?
50 Cent, Soulja Boy,
Lil Wayne, exactly.
Lil Wayne GOAT,
So it's all.
Yeah. So
does it even matter?
It's the thing. Does it matter? Well, this was a favorite topic of mine, but
I think
then we walk away. It doesn't matter.
I think GOAT, the greatest of all time, is who you grew up with, who you came of age with, who influenced you.
The greatest of all time is you and what's in your heart and what you put out in the world.
Lords of Apathy. Happy 420, by the way.